a lot of people started coming to me for help with their national telemedicine brands. And I didn't even know that you could do that. I thought you had to be made of money, super huge company. It just seemed impossible. And I reverse engineered it and figured out what I needed to do. So I said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try.
It's fascinating how the health industry, especially in America, it has adapted and evolved. Most people, I still think, understand or think that you have to be a doctor to be able to have this kind of business, right?
The fun part of this whole thing is not just about money, but seeing the way that some of these medications transform lives. It's a lot better than clocking in and out at a 9-to-5.
There's lots of struggles along the way, right? What's one that you'll always remember or tell?
I think the biggest struggle is trying to balance realizing, when you're growing, you have this revelation of how much you don't know.
Sure.
And it can cause a lot of imposter syndrome. And you can say, why am I trying to do this?
My name's Rudy, Mawer, host of Living the Red Life podcast, and I'm here to change the way you see your life in your earpiece every single week. If you're ready to start living the red life, ditch the blue pill, take the red pill, join me in Wonderland and change your life.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Living the Red Life. Joining me today is Jessica. She's revolutionizing a very complex, very big industry, the telehealth industry. She's an entrepreneur like all of us, and I'm excited to dive into today's episode and talk all about it. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's start at the top. Who are you, what do you do, and then let's lead into the telehealth side.
Okay. My name is Jessica. I'm a physical therapist of 26 years, and I accidented into marketing about 7 years ago.
Okay.
You're smiling, acknowledging that.
Similar thing, yep.
And at first it was just med spa, medical aesthetics, Facebook ads, doing social media. And then a lot of people started coming to me for help with their national telemedicine brands. And I didn't even know that you could do that. I thought you had to be made of money, super huge company. It just seemed impossible. And I reverse engineered it and figured out what I needed to do. So I said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. And I did it myself. And then people started coming to me to help them.
Great.
That's what I do.
And how, I talked about you changing it, revolutionizing it. How have you simplified or streamlined or improved that massive industry?
So there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of components, from having providers to write prescriptions, finding the integration with pharmacies to fulfill, having a software platform that pulls everything together, all the automation, order fulfillment, having a beautiful website, being able to have some of the legal necessities, and pulling all of those things together. Most people that I talk to have been trying to put the pieces together for a long time. So I've compartmentalized that into a very simple blueprint.
And that's now, so who's coming to you for help? Is it the providers currently, people that want to get...
No, entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs, okay.
Right, whether they're providers or not, some physicians, some nurses, some real estate people.
And this is allowing them to start
their
own basically business.
Correct.
Out there.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Kind of like a business model, almost like not an MLM, but almost like, hey, you give them the structure and the system and show them how to do it, so they can kind of jump straight in. And
I hand them the keys to their telehealth brand at the end of about 12 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. And telehealth. Let's talk about it. Massive industry, very lucrative, successful. Right. So, are a lot of the you said entrepreneurs, realtors, whoever, right? Are they all jumping into it because they see that potential?
100%, the financial revenue part and helping people. A lot of the people that do this have had some kind of success, typically with GLP-1 weight loss drugs or peptides.
So they're self-passionate.
Correct.
Interesting.
Right. And that drives them to want to help other people,
That's cool.
which is the fun part of this whole thing. It's not just about money, but seeing the way that some of these medications transform lives it's a lot better than clocking in and out at a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
Even for somebody else.
So let's break it down. Say I come to you, right? Or a realtor comes to you. Hey, I want to start a brand. How do you help them? Break down the steps, and what do they get with you?
The process is pretty simple. If some people will have a logo or a brand or a name idea. Some people have a hybrid model, so they may have a practice if they're a provider, and they'll want to implement telehealth nationally as a sidearm to their brick and mortar.
Because I imagine a lot before that, it's like from when I've worked with people, if they don't understand it, it seems too big and confusing and complicated and legal, right? Puts them off.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get a bit of both, but most people, when they're on a sales call with me, they know exactly what they're looking for.
Okay.
And they've probably spoken to 2 or 3 other people like me who might be a little more cheesy car salesman.
Okay.
And then me being a physical therapist of 26 years, I think gives me a different aspect
The health back.
to
Yeah.
other than just being a consultant trying to launch this.
Got it.
So we go through, what do you want your brand to be called? Who's your niche?
Mhm.
Are you appealing to the weekend warrior who has time to invest in themselves? Are you appealing to postpartum moms? Who do you want this brand to be for? We guide them through that process. We do their brand, their website. We help them with all the legal structure, high-risk merchant processing so they can take payments for telemedicine. And we have provider networks that we integrate with their brand, a lot of stuff on the back end in the pharmacy fulfillment. And then we train them how to use the software as the main hub where everything happens.
So it's almost like, to use another analogy, a lot of people here will understand, kind of like how people want to start a physical product brand, right? And then they
Correct.
run, hey, actually, I don't have to manufacture 20,000 of these
Correct.
T-shirts. There's
Yeah.
companies that I can just buy from and sell straight away and
Yeah.
kind of white label almost. And
Right.
here's the way to do that, and the manufacturer and the warehouses and how you
It's
get it
exactly
delivered.
the same.
Yeah.
It's basically drop shipping prescription medication. But let's be clear,
Yep.
this is medicine.
Yeah,
These are licensed doctors
Yep.
in the United States. These are regulated
Yeah.
pharmacies in the United States. These are
Yeah.
prescription.
And you're just connecting the dots for
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Great.
exactly.
And it's kind of interesting too, because it almost sounds like, I came from the fitness space and the supplement world, just like a supplement brand. Hey, this supplement brand's going to be for bodybuilders, or this one for athletes, or this one for weight loss. So you kind of guide them on creating a niche versus just selling bits of everything
Right.
to everyone.
Absolutely. A brand with a message.
And why is that important? Just to educate people versus, let's just list everything.
Oh, you mean like what products they have?
It sounds like you guide them on who their avatar is and target market.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Why do you feel that's important versus just selling random, bits of everything to anyone?
right. Well, I think people resonate with brands.
Yeah.
And people have brand loyalty. And I think a few years ago, it was just the meds, and having that availability was getting people extremely rich.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now people want to see even the person behind that brand. Why did this person start this brand? How did these medications change your life? And if I'm relatable to that as a potential patient, it's going to have me invest in your brand. We do a lot of influencer marketing. So having lots and lots of people tell their stories on their changes, their non-scale wins, if they're not just looking to lose weight. GLP-1 drugs are incredible for weight loss, but they have a profound, whole list of other things that they help with, in addition to peptides, in addition to longevity and biohacking and all of those things.
And how do you deal with the side effects? Like, so educating people on, hey, these are the drugs, but here's how to have your legal disclaimers, how to understand, contraindications and side effects if someone's on another medication. Because I imagine to some people that could kind of scare them. They see a TV ad and it's like, you can take this,
Right.
also die. And
Exactly. So that's a great question. So in the software, we have a resource section. I actually took semaglutide after I had my daughter. She's 18 months old, and I have a 6-year-old son. And it took me almost 16 months to get back down to what I considered my ideal weight. Everyone has their own,
Sure.
version of what that is for them. And these drugs weren't around then, and they were when I had my daughter. I said, you know what, I'm going to try this. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to start my own brand too. So when I started this medication, my provider didn't tell me not to eat spicy, greasy food after 5 p.m.
Okay.
Had Indian food. My dad was visiting from Ohio. At 7 p.m., had to call a nurse the next day to give me an IV of Pepcid and Toradol because my stomach, the way these drugs work is they slow the emptying of your stomach so you feel fuller longer. So I don't ever want that to happen to another patient. So giving them resources and giving them education helps them be successful on the medications, but also helps them continue. And that's what's important for the brand. You want someone to be on your program for and keep buying your stuff. Right.
And can anyone, last question on this, just to break it down, can people come to you and go, okay, I want to do more hormones and testosterone and stuff. I want to do weight loss. I want to do blood pressure stuff. Do you kind of have show that is there certain areas you specialize in or drugs that they can sort of, white label for lack of a better term versus some they can't? And how does that work?
We mostly deal with weight loss and wellness.
Yeah. Okay.
So peptides, hormones, TRT,
Yeah.
skin, hair, ED, and GLPs.
Yeah.
So kind of that
All the big ones.
weight loss
A lot of
wellness
big
space.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, so it's a great selection. And do a lot of people come in and you said they already kind of know they can do this? Does some think they have to be doctors and licensed? And
Yes, that's the number one question.
Yeah.
Do I have to be a provider?
Yeah.
And you don't.
Yeah, and can you just explain to the audience how you bridge that gap?
Sure. Basically, these business owners own a marketing website that they drive traffic to, and that patient decides if they want to try to get a prescription for a medication, and the independent provider network is the one that makes the assessment if the patient qualifies for a prescription. So truly, it is kind of like white labeling.
Yeah, I kind of see it like you have it's not like this, but a good way to understand it is like you have Thumbtack and TaskRabbit. You list a job, and then all these contractors can say, I'll take that one,
Right.
So these providers say, I'll take that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think it's a great way for people to understand. And it's fascinating how the health industry, especially in America, it has adapted and evolved, and now this, most people I still think understand or think that you have to be a doctor to be able to have this kind of business, right?
Well, telehealth became very popular after the pandemic. So that happened, and it was more widely accepted to be online. And then these GLP, the branded medications, became in very high demand and very low supply. So they were allowed to be compounded. So they were available for much cheaper prices. So those two things dovetailing together just boomed financially a huge industry.
Yeah. Well, and I think the overall industry is changing because, you grow up as a kid and you remember sitting in a doctor's office for an hour, right? Whereas I've not been to a doctor's office for years. I get blood work and I pay extra and they come into my workplace and I'll be on a Zoom call and have one arm out. And then everything else is done online. Even the doctor, I have to do a yearly thing with a doctor and just do it on Zoom as well,
Right. It's like Instacart.
It's
I don't go to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's changing, but it's kind of meeting the demand. Like you have Uber and you have Instacart.
Right.
We live in a world now where, health should be quick and painless. It shouldn't be you got to go and wait 2 hours and then drive to a CVS and wait another hour.
Right. And with the national model, you can choose. You're not landlocked based on where that doctor's office is.
Too, yeah.
You can pick whatever brand you want.
Yeah. Love that. So a couple of questions now pivot into you as an entrepreneur. We feature entrepreneurs on this show and talk about their business. And also their own successes, struggles, and lessons, right? So what are some of your successes, struggles, and lessons?
Successes, struggles, and lessons. So I never intended I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to help people launch telemedicine businesses. So I think the biggest struggle is trying to balance realizing, when you're growing, you have this revelation of how much you don't know.
Sure.
And it can cause a lot of imposter syndrome. And you can say, why am I trying to do this? And then when you do reach a certain level, you have to acknowledge that and give yourself credit so that you can get to the next level. And so a big struggle has been not comparing myself. I know that I'm not the best at anything. I'm not the number one, but I do what I do really damn well. And I've done it for a lot of people that are very happy. So I guess that would be a success that I was able to deconstruct something so complicated and pull together my team. I have a team all over the world that works virtually with me. They're like my family. And leading them, even though they have probably rolled their eyes so many times. Oh my God, what is Jessica going to do now? What are we doing now? But it's worked out beautifully and I love what I do.
Good. And what about struggles? I always try and teach and show, hey, people sit here, achieved a lot of success, built big companies, but there's lots of struggles along the way, right? What's one that you'll always remember or tell?
I've had my business Facebook account hacked, which could have brought my company to its knees. I mean, I've had to drain my credit cards to make payroll every week to pay these beautiful souls to keep working with me. I've invested in consultants that, promised the moon and didn't even deliver stardust. So you have to pivot and make calculated risks.
Yeah.
Right. It's not for the weak of or faint of heart. If you're an entrepreneur, you know that. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. There's no limit. There's no ceiling.
Good. And how do you see this growing over time?
In many different ways. My current model is I build these brands for people, but what I'm starting to see now is a lot of people saying, don't you just have one of these already done with patients that I can buy from you? Right?
Yeah.
So that's probably something I'm going to look at, because some people don't really want to be involved, boots on the ground in all of that. And
They must want like a passive income model.
Right. Like, can you just hand me one on a silver platter and then teach me how to do the back end?
Yeah.
So that could be the next evolution of what I'm doing.
I like it. Good. And last question. So people are listening, they're fascinated by maybe doing the same, starting this business, or, maybe they're in the health space already. They have a sport, fitness, weight loss, personal training, online coaching business. And this is a great plugin maybe for them, right? How do they find you and connect?
My Instagram is zenjessica_official or at kickstartsocial.pro. And my website is growpro.co.
Good. Love it. Well, guys, that's a wrap for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode and learning about the business model and how you can maybe even create one yourself very easily. It's fascinating the way the health industry is moving, and this is a massive one. So excited to see how you do. And guys, as always, keep working hard and live the red life. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.